right, John, good to see you today. We're doing a quick little recording to explain to future Sicuro token holders about your business.
Okay.
Could you just give me a general understanding of how long you've been in business, what got you into the business, what makes you special?
Well, I don't know what's special other than longevity. I've been doing this, been in the insurance business since '78. Started out as a claims adjuster and ran a subrogation unit, which you don't have to know what that is. But long story short, I've been around the industry, and my uncle was a car dealer. So since the time I can remember, I've been around car dealers. Had my own agency since '93 with a partner who since passed away, but we've done nothing but car business ever since I got started doing this in '86. Worked for a national company that's now Zurich. It used to be called Universal Underwriters. But really what makes us special, probably more than anything else, is we've done some very innovative, nimble things because I'm the 100% owner, so I understand the risk probably as well or better than anyone else. So, and we put our money where our mouth is as far as we take a lot of the risk in a lot of these products that we do. And we share the profits back with dealers a lot of times. Some things they want to share the profits on or risk on, and some they don't. So we private label a lot of things. Our name is not out there in the public all that much because we private label for dealers and or agents.
And I know that's great. And I know you've educated me. There's about 16,000 private dealerships just in the US. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you have hundreds of those dealerships already as active customers historically. Is that right as well?
It is. And so over the years, I've done dealers open lot programs, which means I covered auto inventory. So we know a lot of dealers through that avenue. And that's a whole different kind of agent than the finance and insurance agents that we deal with. But we do parts of lots of different stores. We may do our Gap product at one store, a tire and wheel program at another. So yeah, we touch hundreds of agents, hundreds of dealerships.
Yeah. And you basically enable this extra warranty service programs, advanced commission programs, et cetera, for the dealerships themselves. What's of focus right now for the Sicuro token is the advanced commission program. Could you just explain what that program is in layman's terms, knowing that not a lot of people are from this industry?
Well, the dealers really, I'll give you some inside baseball. So really what dealers do is they charge their own departments. It's like a dealer has 5 businesses under his roof. He has a new car business. He has a used car business, a parts business, a body shop business, a service business. And the F&I office is a separate unit also. And so what they do is if the dealer's going to sell, if he gets a car in and his cost from the factory is $50,000, he may tell his new car department they can sell that car. Their base price is $51,000. They can't sell it for less than that. And if they sell it for $51,000, that department gets 0. So that's called the dealer pack. And he does that with the auto inventory that's for sale. He does that with his parts inventory. He does that with the F&I products. And so when we're doing these advanced commissions, we're really taking a part of that dealer pack in the future so that he can have his commission on those things now. And that's really the model that we're done. And it's a model that a company called JM&A has done for years. So you charge a little more for products, and the dealer understands that, but he'd rather have those commission dollars today. And he may no telling what he'll use them for.
Purely because it helps him from a cash flow perspective. That's highly attractive.
It's all about cash flow.
Yeah.
Dealers' cash is king, and that's one of those businesses that has to have cash flow. It lets them maneuver whether they want to buy a piece of property for a future development, whether that's enhance their own building, whatever it might be, Dan.
Yeah. And F&I stands for what, for all those people that don't know what that means?
It stands for finance and insurance, but what it really means is it's those products like mechanical breakdown that they call a vehicle service contract. It's for tire and wheel protection coverage, windshield protection in case your windshield breaks. It's for gap contract that covers the difference between new and what you owe on the car.
Right.
So it's all those kinds of products get sold at the time you sign in the papers for to get your new vehicle, your new or used vehicle.
Right. To make it real for people that go and buy cars, it's every time you've made the purchase decision, it's all the extras.
Yes.
That once you sit down at the table.
You want to, yeah, I'll give you a quick example. So they'll lay a menu out in front of you.
Yeah.
And they'll have probably 4 columns. And the column on the far left will have the most products. And that's whether you want to take a fully protected car, a slightly less protected car in column B, what they're going to say is decent protection in column C, or barely protected in column D.
Which
and
makes
so
you feel guilty automatically.
Yes, which especially if your spouse is sitting there, it's a whole different operation. So, or your daughter, son,
Right.
or whatever it be. So yeah,
Right.
You're almost always going to choose column B.
Got it. And so basically people get to participate in a situation where you have a demand from your dealerships, your existing customers, as well as new customers that are waiting for this program to start, in which
Right.
you're enabling with the financing you're getting from the private sale for the Sicuro token, right?
Correct.
And token holders here, basically the private interest security holders, are entitled to 75% of the profits of this program. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, explain where the revenues come from. So we have a general understanding of what the program's all about. We can get into nitty gritty maybe a bit later, but in short, these are products that are supplemental products that the car dealership sells to the car purchasers, if you will. Where does the money come from to you? You're both doing this advanced commission program concept, as well as you're selling products. You've got 2 different revenue streams coming in here. Talk to me about those 2, if you would.
Well, we have an admin fee that takes care of, because we're in managing general agency. So we underwrite the program, we collect the money, we price everything, and we control all the funds that are put in reserve to pay claims out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we actually pay the claims out of my office for almost all these products. So that's one of the things that makes us a very secure product for the people that are investing with us. And for me, I've done these types of advances for several years. This just lets me take it to a whole different scale.
Right. So instead of doing historical financing or you're lending from a bank, you're essentially creating your own bank, if you will, your own closed circuit of funds.
My own little universe. So
right.
And one of the things the private equities want to do is they want to own a piece of my agency so that they can do that. I'm 100% owner, and I'm not going to change that. I'd rather do it this way. This gives
Right.
me the funds, lets me give people the profits back without them having a real ownership piece into me.
Right. Which allows them to almost be, just using a analogy here for more kind of the retail side, almost a shareholder or a stockholder of a bank, of a private bank, if you will, with a specific instrument, right?
That's exactly the way I look at it. And so when I think about the people that are going to invest into this, we want them to be super successful, and 75% is what I look at as a minimum. We're going to have some perks that we hope will be attractive to them.
Oh also. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, the numbers are staggering once you get started. So in short, then let's go back to the revenue streams. So you have one revenue stream purely from a profit perspective for interest, the typical providing a loan with interest, if you will.
Right.
And then the second revenue stream you have is with products. To talk through those two real quick.
Well, so the dealer's willing to pay a higher price, whether that's for products or on an interest basis, so that he can access these funds for whatever his purpose might be.
Mhm.
And we do the underwriting on the dealer, most of which we know anyway, but nevertheless, we have people that have been in the mergers and acquisitions business for publicly traded companies that that I'm friends with and have a long-term relationship with, that will review these opportunities. And then we will design something that works for us and the dealer as far as the revenue stream back to pay off those advances. And that's done through interest, overrides on products, and we really pull it right out of the dealer pack mostly. They may change the price for their departments, but not drastically. It
Right.
won't affect volume.
So when people ask you in the public documents that are available on the websites that you're associated, are the estimates conservative? Are they overly ambitious? Just talk, because this is
So
a closed. Yeah.
they're certainly not ambitious. They tend toward the conservative side because, again, I'm an insurance agent. Come from a background of conservative risk, and I just never liked the idea of overpromising. That's just not who we are.
Right.
We could very easily put some numbers out there that are, if everything goes right, kind of numbers, but we prefer to do something where we know some things are going to have issues or have, some glitch, some
Sure.
timing issues, usually more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, because you've talked me through this, they're highly risk adjusted. I'd say
Yes.
would say is a nice way of putting it, right?
Yep. That's what we do.
Yeah. And when you're choosing your dealerships of who to work with, these are largely longstanding clients that you've had, that who these dealerships are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But even on the ones that will be new opportunities for us,
Yeah.
we have friends in the industry, and they're bankers. I've done a lot of business with banks over the years through my dealers open lot program, where we work hand in hand with those people because they're loaning money on their auto inventory,
Yeah.
and then I'm the insurance behind it. So
Yeah.
that's how we know. And it's a very small fraternity in the real scheme of things.
Yeah.
People know who the good actors are and the marginal actors and the bad actors. And so we're going to choose very carefully because that's who we are. It's not worth the hassle to have a problem guy.
Of course. And there are risks in everything, right? So what are the general risks in your business when we're talking about this program? What are just the general risks? I mean, is it just purely you have a dealership that isn't able to pay back a specific loan, advance commission? How's that work?
Well, we tied it up with there's personal guarantees from the dealer and all those types of things, and it's a credit risk just like anything else. The guys that we work with that will do the underwriting on the dealers themselves, that's what they do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel like we're going to have the credit issues. I think if we have anything that might happen, it might be that next pandemic, that while it might not be a volume crunch, volume could be affected, but in the end, dealers are doing better in the pandemic than they did outside of it. So
Sure.
They could still pay the loan. If we'd have been doing this program 3 years ago, they'd still be paying those numbers right back to us without a problem.
Yeah. And I remember you, to that point, you've said very clearly that this is a very, very attractive offering, very, in my words, very addictive offering for them, in a good way, because it helps them significantly with cash flow. So asking that question in a different way, what's your expected retention rate on your customers as you get started? Is it 100%? Is it 50%? What are you thinking from that perspective?
No, I think it'll be somewhere in that between 50 and 100. I think it'll be in that 60 to 65%.
Yeah.
Some dealers will do these advances to buy a new store, perhaps. to buy it, to buy some percentage or 100% of a new store.
Right.
But some dealers this will be a recurring thing for them. We'll do a 2-year note or a 3-year deal with them, and they'll sign up again for another 3-year deal because they just like getting those dollars up front. And we know a lot of those kinds of dealers that the only way they do business is on an advanced commission basis. So we haven't been able to get those larger dealership groups, and that's what this will let us do. I've done several small ones, but $250,000, $500,000 advances, but this lets us take it to the next level.
Right. Which there's clearly market demand. Tell me a little bit about your partner network. I know you have worked with Allianz to do some reassurance, I believe. Could you just explain a little bit about maybe your relationship with Allianz as an example?
Allianz, we've been dealing with them and talking to them ever since 2015. They are the largest finance and insurance carrier in the world, but they don't do anything in the United States currently until they did a deal with me and Lexington National Insurance Company, Indemnity Company, excuse me. So they reinsure my book of business on vehicle service contracts and ancillary products right now. We have an expanding relationship with them in several other areas, which I can't go into yet because we're working on a contract to do even more business with them on a direct basis. So awesome. They're a great partner. The head of Allianz Mobility, the leader there is who we deal with, and he's in Munich, Germany.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Obviously, a big name has some large confidence in you and behind the business and behind the ambitions.
Biggest carrier in the world right now.
Yeah,
A plus 15. So
I guess that's good.
That validates our model. They love this model, by the way, and they've really bought into it, and they understand that's going to help us grow.
Yeah,
responsibly, but exponentially at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you're democratizing this kind of investment landscape for yourself, how people can get access to this type of instrument, which has been around for forever, right, John? I mean, it's just it's just been kind of hidden, if you will.
Well, there's a company called JM&A out of Florida. It's Jim Moran and company. And he's had this model for a long time where he would do these advances and let dealers have, let's say, $2 or $3 million to buy another dealership or to buy land for the next dealership they're going to build. So with that, he would charge some very, very high prices on products. We're not going to go anywhere near those types of inflated prices. We're going to sort of be more middle of the road on pricing, which will keep us attractive in this marketplace.
Could you ask one question, though, that I get when I explain this program to people? What are the key benefits of going through a firm like yours versus through a traditional bank just to provide a loan? Let's just talk about loans for a second, regardless of the products that you offer, which are very specialized, which banks do not do. They don't touch that. But just talking about a loan for a second, why would one of your dealers want to work with you versus with a Wells Fargo, maybe as an example? Could you explain that for the people that are watching?
Well, people have to understand that when a bank looks at a dealer and they would do this would be an unsecured loan. I look at it because I'm getting all the money for the claims reserves and all that that dealers plan on making a profit on the back end with. They get the profits or loss on the back end, but it's the way we write them, it's always a profit. Mm-hmm. So that guarantees this money to me. And there's also a personal guarantee. But one of the main reasons dealers prefer this type of product is the speed. And frankly, there's a lot of banks that won't do any of these types of loans. And so, and they don't even like loaning money for anything that's not real estate.
Right. Yeah.
Anytime you mention the dealer may want to look at another store, the underwriting process can take 18 months. And so I can turn it around in 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. It's the same. Totally. Yeah. It's the same equivalent that I use to people, why people use local credit unions too. Right. versus a Wells Fargo. I'm not saying I love Wells. Actually, I don't like them at all. I think they're slow and clunky, for the record.
Absolutely. But they're still big.
But they're still big. But the bottom line is personal touch, and it's a closed loop system, like you said, between products and lending.
Yeah.
Two components there, right? In which you are in control of the cash
That's
flow,
right.
quite frankly.
Yeah. All the money.
Yeah, which is why it's a closed loop system. And the first time you explained it to me, it took me a couple times to, and I'm not, the sharpest tack in the in the bunch, but I'm not the dullest either. But it took me a couple times to get it, quite frankly. I was like, oh, this is literally just a closed looped, behind the scenes system that happens behind the closed doors when you're buying a car.
And that's why I was only interested in doing a secure token, because I wanted people to know that we're going to follow rules that are down in writing and on paper. This isn't a feel good product. This is a real chance for revenue back.
Yeah, absolutely. It totally an SEC compliant security token with, and on top of that, you're doing additional governance such as annual audits, those type of things. So this is great. What else should people know about the industry? If they don't come from this industry, they're thinking about this from an investment perspective. We've got obviously plenty of large institutions that are interested in this, but just from an individual investor perspective, even, what should they know about this space from a final thoughts perspective?
There's sort of a lot of factors here, but over the years, there is no small business out there that has adapted, and all takers, they have always prospered through good times and bad. Car dealers survive, and they not only survive, they thrive. They find a way because they are still entrepreneurial, and that's what it takes to do business. You can't be a dinosaur and be a car dealer. I have a lot of respect for them. People think of it as a slimy business because car dealers win, and it's better to win with them than to fight against them. So this is how we can be on that periphery of being.
That's right. This is how you can profit from buying a car over over MSRP currently on the lot because of market pricing.
That's right. And
the market premium. Yeah.
Yes. And then and I will tell you this too, the most important person in the car dealership business is the F&I guy. Every single customer comes through them that buys a newer used car, and that's where they have a chance to sell those additional products. And there's tremendous peer pressure in there, because when a customer walks in, the reason they don't like buying a car is because they get presented with these options of products and they don't know which ones they need, if the price is too much, inflated, whatever. They just know they want to get in that car that they've picked out.
Yeah.
And so we really help them make good decisions on all that too.
Awesome.
They're real products that we offer.
Awesome. Cool. And really, there's only one other big player doing this in the space. I mean, is that what I mean? It's very niche-y, very needed, very closed circuit, and low risk from a design perspective of how you design it. I mean,
absolutely.
Is that fair? Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. JM&A is really the only other one that does this model.
Yeah.
Some other ones have dabbled, but they're still trying to make too much money on the dealer book. So
right.
We're small, but we're nimble on that.
That's wonderful. And there's essentially no maximum level that you could raise here, because there's such a market demand for this opportunity. Now you've set targets, you've set what you're going to sell into the market. That's not going to change according to your PPM, et cetera. But overall, there's more demand than there is supply from an offering perspective.
But because we are going to be very picky, is not the right word, but very selective on who we do business with. There are dealers that are very good dealers that I will choose to avoid just because I don't like dealing with them.
Yep. Sure.
But frankly, yeah, 50 million would sort of be my ideal number,
Mhm.
and a lot of that will be recurring. So that could turn into, that's not money I'm pulling back in. I mean, that 50 million can be money that just keeps ascending and turning profits back to
Well,
our total.
you're creating that closed loop system. So the profits you're making that the house is retaining through the treasury is being reinvested into the marketplace,
Exactly.
um, to create this continuous growth cycle, which is why the treasury is the largest token holder for the Sicuro token, just for everyone's understanding.
Yeah, and so my motivation is not to make more money per product than I do currently. My motivation is to just expand. The bigger my footprint, the more secure we are long term, and solve for mergers and acquisitions that are going on in the auto industry. So
Yeah, great, great. And you've got a really cool Sicuro token that can be used
I
as a
do. I
golf
do.
marker.
I can even show you right now.
Yeah, yeah. And you've got a bunch of perks for people. You can get new golf sets. You can go golfing. It's amazing. This stuff is awesome.
We got stuff going on, man.
Yeah, you
So
got.
let me see if I can figure this out. Man.
Yeah, there it
Hey,
is. I see it. Yep,
can you see it? Okay.
yep. I see it. Looks like a Bitcoin logo, but with an S.
And we got the back. It's got Sicuro on it.
That's awesome. You're gonna have an ecosystem around you. People will be showing that entry into your
It's
country
cool.
club parties.
That's right. All right.
Yeah,
I
I
have your
love it.
Sicuro token.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, John. This is really going to be helpful for people to learn about the opportunity. So thanks for your time.
Absolutely. And we're happy to talk to other people. So let's go.
Great.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.